I'm gonna make a quick video. I've been trying to make some videos and I can't get them to download, but that's okay. I'll try to keep this one shorter. But I just watched yesterday. They had a video. Kamlesh Patel, the Heartfulness president, they call him Dodgy. He did a talk with a lady interviewer. If you look at Paul from Pockets of the Future, he has a link to it. I'm not going to put the link, but it was really good. He said a lot of really great stuff. I mean, one of the things they talked about addiction. They talked about a lot of different things. A couple of the things I could remember anyway were he was talking about, you know, when you react to something, like say you get mad, and is it being caused by something right now, or is it something in the past? And this hit me. Well, it's interesting when I listen to Kamlesh, when I listen to stuff, you know, and when you're on a spiritual path, things will come to you, right? I mean, we've all experienced this. If you need information, it might come to you in a book, it might come to you in a video, it might come to you in a way that you really didn't expect. And I guess that's a good sign that we're being, you know, there's definitely I call them the higher ups, they're definitely, you know, bringing information to us to try to raise our consciousness all the time. And Badaji said that, you know, look into yourself and find out, is this coming from something that happened in the past that you created, or something that you're creating right now? And I thought that really hit me. I'm still not quite 100% grasping it, but you know, it comes down to just, you know, personal accountability and really taking responsibility for your actions. And that applies to me in my life right now specifically, and it's an ongoing thing. I'm getting tired of it, and it was good because I needed to hear that it's time to break free. And he basically was saying, you know, you need to get to a point where you just say, okay, that's enough. I'm done with that. I'm not doing that anymore. And just make a stand, you know, make a stand. They talked about Sankalpa, where you have an intention. And especially we do that with the heartfulness practice every afternoon or evening. I'll do it before I go to bed. I know you're supposed to do it earlier, but when I work, I get off late, so I do it before I go to bed every night. But you do the cleaning process where you imagine that all the impressions are removing from, as though they were smoke, leaving your body and like coming off of you. And then at the end, you imagine light coming down and just kind of washing through you, and that light just kind of clearing you out. And I've been having some interesting experiences with that. I feel more of a sense of expansion now with that, almost like a clarity. And it's a pleasant feeling. And what else? I just dropped my paper that had this stuff on it that I was going to talk about. Oh, he talked about being a good being a good employee, basically, or making yourself valuable. And you know, there's a lot of different applications for that. But he said when he used to own the pharmacies in New York City, that you know, the good employees, he would beg them to stay. You know, he would do anything he could do to get them to stay. The people that were the workers, the people who, you know, the good people, you know. He said he would do anything to get those people to stay. He said the other people, you know, he was hoping they would leave. You know, there's certain people, we all work with them. You know, I tell my girls that, you know, 20% of the people do 80% of the work, and I think that's pretty close to the truth. But anyway, he talked about that, and he didn't really go into a lot of detail with it, but I took it to mean, and Paul's talked about it, you know, making yourself valuable to God, you know, make yourself valuable to God. And honestly, I'm not going to say that I know what that means. I don't exactly know what that means. I think it means become, you know, a living example of God's love. You know, let that godly energy flow through you. Be more loving, be more open-hearted, and that could be possibly what he's talking about. I don't think it's anything complicated. I don't think we need to, you know, find a cure for cancer. It's just be more loving, be more open-hearted, and that's what the practice does. It helps open your heart. And then I was but I've been watching a lot of near-death experiences lately on YouTube, people talking about their near-death experiences, and I'm just kind of amazed at how similar their experiences are to a lot of my meditation experiences. So I was going to just throw this out there to people that are meditating, that maybe watch some of these near-death experiences, because it might help validate your own experience. Of course, my experiences in meditation are different in that, I'm in a physical body and I haven't left my physical body, and these people have, and so they've created more of a break from this reality. Whereas when you're meditating, it's kind of a mixture of the two. But it's good because it's kind of a balancing of the two, and we need a balance in our life. So, and one other thing Kamish talked about was as we become more, meditate, we can make better decisions. We can make better use of our time, because we can make better decisions. And he said there's three kinds of people: someone who does something and then later on makes the same mistake again and just keeps making the same mistake again. And then there's the person who makes the mistake but then learns from the mistake and tries not to make the mistake again. And then there's the person who is basically as they're making the mistake, they realize that they're oh, I'm doing this wrong, and he stops doing whatever he's doing. And then the final person, the most advanced person, is the person who doesn't even do the thing to make the mistake in the first place. They do something else. And so all that time, think about all that wasted time. I mean, you see this with people in relationships a lot, where people will just keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over. And you're just like, wow, you ended up with an abusive boyfriend in your first 5 relationships, and then you go to the bar looking for another relationship, and then you get another, it's basically you're doing the same thing hoping for a different result. And so anyway, that was kind of a good point to be brought up, that when you become more clear and your conscience becomes more expanded, your consciousness becomes more expanded, you might be able to see, if I follow this path, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna go off here. If I go this way, I'm gonna go this way. Here's a good example. My dad's dealing with the estate of his brother. His brother passed away, and he has a building that still has to be liquidated. And my dad has been struggling because he doesn't want to liquidate the building, because there's people that work in the building and they wouldn't have a job if a new owner comes in and decides they want to tear the building down and build something else or whatever. And so my dad's been struggling with that. And but my dad's got enough wisdom to say, you know what, my dad's the executor of the estate, which makes it extra complicated. And I don't ever want to be the executor of anybody's estate, by the way. Anyway, so the daughter of my uncle, my cousin, she decided that, my dad wasn't really basically trying to get her the best deal. So my dad said, okay, why don't you take over and see if you can find someone to buy it. And so she is, and it showed a lot of wisdom on my dad's part, because he was able to step back and say, okay, I'm going to let this play itself out. I'm going to let her do this, and she's going to realize how difficult it is. It's not easy, and it maybe give her a little more perspective and make her a little bit more reasonable in terms of what her expectations are. So anyway, it was a good lesson, and it was anyway, that's good video. If you get a chance to watch it, I'm gonna watch it again. It was really awesome. I mean, I'm amazed. It's amazing stuff. I'm still holding back. I know I'm holding back. I'm being cautious. McComish was talking about how, the lady asked him about, doing different meditation practices and stuff, and he said that's good. If you're doing something else, you can still do this. You can still receive transmission. And that's the thing that's so amazing about this system, is there's nothing expected in return, and the transmission is given for free. And it doesn't matter if you're going to church or if you're going to whatever you do, you can still receive transmission. But what he said in the video that was kind of cool is that he said the thing with that is, though, if you put, it's like if you're investing your money and you invest in, you know, 3 different companies, and one of the companies is making you a lot of money and the other companies aren't, then you really be smarter to put all of your money into that one company. And he was basically saying that with the spiritual path also, why waste your energy and your time? Why not just put all of it in? And he said at some point when when you gain the confidence, you'll be able to go all in. And I don't even know what that means for me right now, you know. On a personal level, I don't know what all in means. And I guess it's just something that will unfold as I continue to grow and change and, you know, evolve in my practice and all that. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good day.